Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday at noon. Usually, I didn't have a show this last week. Gonna have one next week. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. The views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other therapist. I'd like to thank my sponsor. Whoops, there we go. BetterHelp, BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. They're an online therapy company. They are international. So if you need to get into a therapist, you can't get one through the regular channels, go to BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez, fill out a questionnaire, and they will place you with a licensed master's level or PhD level therapist that can do international. They can also place you in your state. So, and I've gotten lots of good feedback. People like their therapists. So make sure you tell them what you're looking for. Be honest, be open to let them know. I'm looking for trauma, I'm looking for depression, I'm looking for anxiety, somebody who knows what they're doing. So thank you, BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. Okay, well, happy Christmas. Whew. It's been a whirlwind week. Holy cow, I got a cold for Christmas. Yay. We went to the Nutcracker, and oh my gosh, it was so much fun. But on one side of us was this person that was hacking and coughing and no mask. And on the other side of us was a person that was sniffling and snorking, no mask. I'm like, gee, thanks, guys. Don't get me started. So rude. So it's like now, now that I know I'm sick, if I go out, I'm wearing a mask because I don't want anyone else to get sick. So anyway, there is that. So today's question, sorry, still kind of recovering from the holidays here. So today's question was on emancipation. So I don't think people understand. I am not an attorney. I have just enough knowledge of the law to get me into trouble. No, seriously, I'm not an attorney. But what I did do is I went on to the Maricopa County, Maricopa.gov/5138 minor emancipation rates. So, and realize I only know about Arizona stuff. I'm not well versed in what's going on in other states. So the minor emancipation and rights. All right. In 2005, they successfully passed House Bill 2428, which allows minors to petition for the courts to emancipate. So that means that the kid gets to be completely separate from the parent, but you've got to prove a whole bunch of stuff before that can happen. Qualifications to emancipation. You have to be at least 16 years old. You have to be an Arizona resident. And this is for Arizona, guys. I don't know what other states are doing. So my suggestion would be if you're in a different state other than Arizona, go look it up. Go to Google, type in minor emancipation rights, and your state or your county will definitely have information on that. Here, this is what's here in Arizona. You have to be financially sufficient. You must acknowledge in writing that the petitioner has read and understands the rights and obligations of emancipation. So in other words, the person that is filing for emancipation has to have a statement saying, I understand I am going to be completely separate from any and all adults, that I am fiscally responsible for myself, that I can maintain a job, that I can get health care, that I can pay my bills, live completely separately from the parental units or whoever is the adult. The minor is not a ward of the court or in the state's custody. The cost to emancipate, there's a $46 filing fee, but the court may waive the fee. Oftentimes they do. The minor must demonstrate to the court the ability to manage financial and personal and social affairs. To live wholly, this is the second one, to live wholly independently of the parent or the guardian. Number 3, obtain or maintain health care, education, training, and or employment. Required documentation. The minor must provide at least one of the following. Documentation of the minor's independent living for at least 3 consecutive months. So before you can file for emancipation, you have to have been out on your own, living separately, paying all your own bills, paying your health care, paying your whatever for 3 months in a row. So, and that's hard to do. It is. Statement explaining why the minor believes the home of the parent or legal guardian is unsafe. So you have to have a statement saying, the guardian is doing X, Y, and Z. So for example, in cases of abuse, you have to be open and honest and tell them what's going on. You have to be like, there's abuse going on. They're coming home and doing drugs. If that's the truth, you never lie. You always tell the truth, and you have to, because it makes you look bad if the court then goes and does an examination and finds out that none of that is true. So you tell them the truth. It's like if there's drug and alcohol use going on, if there's neglect going on, if there's abuse going on, you have to document all of that and explain to the court. It's like, look, I can take care of myself. I can pay my own bills. I've got a job. I've got a place to live. I'm living in somebody's house or whatever. And I need to be out of this situation because it's dangerous, because they're abusive, they're, neglectful, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you got to do a statement saying that. A notarized statement of written consent from the parent or guardian, in addition to an explanation by the parent or guardian. So good luck with that if you're living with somebody who's abusive. I mean, this is why I get so angry at state laws, because they're supposedly there to protect the minor, but they don't understand. If you're to the point where you're desperate enough to want to be emancipated, you're not working with somebody that's going to work with you. You know what I'm saying? So, but you still have to get a statement from them. And at that point, if the parent or guardian refuses, you're going to have to get an attorney involved. And what does it take to get an attorney? Well, you either have to have one appointed by the court, which we call public pretenders because they're just terrible, but or you have to go hire one. And I don't know many 16-year-olds that make enough working at In-N-Out Burger that can hire an attorney. So just letting you know, it's like emancipation is not some sort of magic. You walk in and you say, I'm done, and the court goes, why, of course you are. There's a whole process, and it's stupid. And it makes me angry, because it's like if a kid is to that point where they're independent, they're paying their own bills, the parent is maybe blackmailing them for money, which I've seen multiple times, and they're able to live on their own. It's dumb to me that the court is saying, oh, well, you need to get a written permission from mommy and daddy who are abusing you. What the? Don't get me started. All right, hold on, back to this. And of course, that written statement of consent, it could be non-consent. They are probably going to, write something out and saying, no, I don't want this, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, there's the problem. Okay, court process. Minor may represent themselves or be represented by an attorney. Number 2, the court may appoint a lawyer for the petitioner. So there may be a court-appointed lawyer for the minor for this. Number 3, the court has up to 90 days to hear the petition, so 3 months. Number 5, the parents have up to 30 days to object to the emancipation, and they're probably going to object to it out of the gate. Number 6, the parents may request mediation, or the court may order mediation, and that's usually what ends up happening. So if a kid is trying to be emancipated and the parents are fighting it, and, unfortunately, as a minor, this is so stupid, because it's like, I have known 14, 15, and 16-year-olds that were better capable of taking care of themselves than their guardians were. You know what I'm saying? But the courts won't. They're like, oh, they're too young. They're not able to make decisions for themselves. And I'm just like, they're making better decisions for themselves than their guardians are. So, yeah, don't get me started. Okay. Mediation. Okay. Basis for the court decision. The decision to grant emancipation must be in the best interest of the minor, and the courts must weigh 1, the potential risks and consequences of emancipation, 2, the wishes of the minor, which, okay, that should be number 1, but okay, 3, opinions and recommendations from the minor's parents or guardians. And again, if you're dealing with abusers, they're not going to want to let you go, okay? Because they need a punching bag. Number 4, financial resources of the minor and the minor's ability to be financially self-sufficient. So you've got to show that you're able to be able to afford rent, be able to get, food, health care, etc. Number 5, employment, education, and criminal history of the minor. And then the rights of emancipated minors. As an emancipated minor, An emancipated minor is entitled to enter into a contract, sue and be sued, buy and sell real estate, establish a legal residence, pay child support, incur debts, apply for social services, obtain a job-related license, apply for school, apply for loans, access to medical treatment and records, consent to medical treatment, a driver's license for non-operating license with the words emancipated minor. So basically all of the rights that an adult has, basically. So becoming an emancipated minor is a process, and it's in some cases, yeah, I think it's a great idea. In other cases, if it's going to cause abusive parents to become more abusive, I would say no. But if you're dealing with somebody who's 17 years old and is basically supporting themselves, and the parents are blackmailing the kid into giving them their money from their job, then yeah, that might not be a bad idea. So, but there's a lot of things to consider. And you've got to realize in a lot of states, because of the social norms or the religious norms or whatever, they're probably not going to side with the minor unless there is documentable abuse going on. It's not safe, and it's documented that you can, in fact, take care of yourself, like fiscally, emotionally, the whole thing. So there's pros and cons with becoming an emancipated minor. If it's going to cause more problems, if it's going to create more abuse, I would say no, don't do it. Tough it out and then get out, or get out and then file for all of that stuff. Of course, they'll claim you're a runaway, but it's so stupid. It bothers me that all of these politicians are like, oh, kids first, we need to take care of the kids, and yet the laws do anything but. Don't get me started. Anyway, so that is basically the rundown of what being an emancipated minor is. Strongly suggest if you're, 16, 17, and you're thinking about it, there's a lot of stuff that's going to be an obstacle in your way. So you got to do a pro and a con list. Is it worth it? Do I think I can get this? Like if you've got documentation, there's CPS reports, DCS reports, involving you and things like that, then that's a possibility. But yeah, it's hard to become an emancipated minor. I've had parents ask me about this. They're like, well, what about getting the kids emancipated so that the abuser doesn't have control? And it's like, well, you've got a lot to prove, and they've got to be completely on their own. You cannot help them. So there it is. I mean, there's pros and cons to it. I would honestly talk to an attorney. And there's free consultations out there. So, you can ask questions. You can go online and ask questions. You can look it up on Google. You can, all sorts of stuff. So, anyway, that's what it takes to become an emancipated minor. But it's rare that it happens, and you have to have all your documentation in line, and you have to understand the court system and how many 16-year-olds understand the court system. Because the youngest that you can apply for emancipated minor. So, and here's the other thing. As a minor, many employers will not employ you full time. Like, you can only work, I think it's 3 to 4 hours a day, and that's not going to pay the bills. So, there's a lot of things going against people trying to become emancipated minors. So, I hope that answered the question. Again, I'm not an attorney. All I did was go to the Maricopa County government and I looked it up, emancipated minor, how to, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, anyway, there that is. All right, well, I am going to go lay down now. So, you guys have a great Wednesday. I will see you on Friday with the next question. And then this Sunday, I will be talking about strangers are gold, kids are dirt. Why do abusers treat other kids that are not theirs like kings and queens, and their own children as if they were, terrible, awful, horrible people? It speaks more about the narcissist than it does about the kids, but it's hard for kids to know that. So, all right, my loves, you guys go have a great day. I'm going to go lie down, and I will talk to you later. Bye.